Yo, what's goody with the good side? This is Justice. On this channel, we experiment with rogue decks until we break the meta. If that's something you would like to see or something you'd like to be a part of, leave a like and subscribe, and comment your favorite rogue deck and strategy. We'll try to feature it in a video. In this video, we're featuring Krieg. If you're not saying the Dawn, you're not saying it right. This is a 4-life 5k leader. X1 on opponent's turn. If you only have East Blue type characters, give all the opponent's characters -2 power during his turn. Activate main once per turn, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with 2 or more given down cards. This is an amazing ability, amazing card, amazing leader. This leader is only held back by the cards available in East Blue for the 2 color types. The both parts of the leader ability perfectly encapsulate the red and the green. So this leader can go far. They just need to print better East Blue type cards. Next we're going to the 2k counter. This is just a 2k counter, Higuma. No need to go over it. Next we get Nezumi. I love this card. It's a 2 cards, 2k 1k counter. Activate main once per turn. Give up to 1 rested down card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. This can give a down to your leader, your characters, your opponent's leader, your opponent's characters. All around good card. I don't see a lot of decks running it, but I think it should be a staple in a deck. I reduced it to 2 so I can increase my searchers a bit because I realized I needed to see certain cards, and like you don't see them, you just lose the game. So I need to up my searcher, so I reduced this to 2. Next we got Big Pearl, 4 cost, 4k 1k counter opponent's turn. If your leader has East Blue type, this character gains blocker and 2000 power. Amazing first ability on KO. If your leader has East Blue type, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 6000 base power or less. This goes up to 6k. You're reducing your opponent's characters by 2k. Even if they get to KO, you get to KO body. It should be a staple in that. I wasn't running it before, but it's a great card to play down on your second turn going on your 4 down turn going second, which is the curve you like to go on an even curve with this deck, in my opinion. Next we have BBW Alvida. Miss, you gotta be 180 to see be my baby. Means you gotta be 2 something to do something. 5 cost, 6k 1k counter. If this character would be KO'd, you may trash 1 character card from your hand with 6000 power or less. Activate main. You may give one of your opponent's down cards to one of your opponent's characters. Then give up to 1 rested card to its owner's leader or one of the characters. It's a good card, can't say anything bad about it. It's not as good as the other cards in this deck with that same activate main. The on KO is something, it can come up, it's not bad, but the game, we're leaning away from KO, when it can be attacked and KO'd, so this can tank a 10k attack for only one card from hand, but still. I don't see the need to run it at 4. Needed more space in the deck for other options. Then we have a 4 count staple in the deck. We have the 5 cost 6k Captain Morgan. Put respect on his name. That is Captain Morgan, not just Morgan. He's a blocker. Activate main. The same activate main as Alvida. Activate main. You may give one of your opponent's rested down cards to one of your opponent's characters. Give up to 1 rested down card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. Good ability. Great with the blocker. 6k. You get over a lot of free block a lot of 5k attacks. Great against those decks that like to play on curve and don't have any down to give their leader to get up to 6. Then we have Jin. Jin is an amazing card. It might not be the best in this deck, but I can see if they print any other red decks in the future, this being a staple. The 6 cost 7k 1k counter. Play if your leader has the East Blue type, play up to 1 character card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. It's great. You usually want to play this on your 6 down turn to cheat out Morgan, Alvida if necessary, cheat out Arlong. You can also cheat out This all along to freeze your leader. This Lord of the Coast to freeze a character. It's good all around. You can get a blockout with Pearl. It's good all around to flood the board. Then we have the boss monster of the deck. It costs 9k Don Krieg on play. Give up to 3 of your opponent's rested Don cards to one of your opponent's characters. Then this character gains rush. Activate main once per turn. If this character was played on this turn, give all the opponent's characters negative 1000 power for each Don card given to that character during this turn. Great ability. I wish that you could activate this main more than once, but I can see how that would be broken. I could say reduce his stats, make him a 7k 7, make him a 7/7 like Kuro, but given the ability to use that that activate main once per turn, that would have made the deck way better. We move on to Django. The one costs 2k, 1k counter on play. Look at the top 3. One is a 3-tap searcher. Reading all of that. Activate main. You may trash this character. Give up to one of your opponent's rested down cards to one of your opponent's characters. This card was definitely made to combo with the Kuro. You need the searches in the decks. That's what I'm running for. I wish this was a 4-tap searcher or a 5-tap searcher, and you don't necessarily need the second ability. It can come in handy, but I wish it was a 4 or 5-tap searcher. Next we have the Forecast 6k Arlong. I don't see anyone running this card in this deck. I think it's an amazing card to play out at 4 on your 4th on turn. It's a Forecast 6k on play. You may discard 1 card from the hand up to one of your opponent's rested leaders. May not attack until the end of your next turn. This is an amazing card to play out on your 4th on turn. It reduces the tempo. It lets you get to your 6th down turn safer. You can play on them to flood the board. It's a great card. I think it should be a staple of the deck, especially if you're running options where you can freeze the entire board. You can freeze the entire board with this and this, and then freeze the leader with all along. Is great. Then we have 2 copies of Lord of the Coast. Forecast 5k, 1k counter on play. Up to one of your opponent's rested characters will not become active in the opponent's next refresh phase. Great card. I see no reason not to run it. Some of your late game options are to stun your entire opponent's board, which I have done in 1 or 2 of my games coming up. So the card can come in very handy, and again it can combo with the Jin. So it's a great card to have in the deck. Next you have this all along, this Forecast 5k all along 1k counter, which is possibly the best card in the deck. It has on-K reads on KO. Up to 2 of your opponent's rested cards will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. That includes leaders, downed characters, everything. Amazing on KO ability. Activate main. You may give one of your opponent's rested down cards to one of your opponent's characters. Give up to 1 down card from the owner's cost there to the owner's leader or one of the owner's characters. This can give to leader, which the others can't. Yeah, the others can't give to leader, and it also gives active down also. So if the opponent is trying to be defensive and leaves Dawn active to use counter events, this can take them away and attach them to a character. Amazing card, the best card in the deck in my opinion. Then we have our next 2k in the count. Next we have our last 2k in the deck, of Forecast 5k, Dracula Mihawk 2k counter on play. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with 1 or more given down cards. I haven't used this card yet in the game, but I can see how this card could come in handy. So it's definitely a staple in the deck. This is one of the best 2k counters you could have for this deck right now. Next boss monster of the deck, possibly the best boss monster of the deck. No offense, Don Krieg. 7 cost, 7k, 1k counter. Blocker on play. Give up to 2 of your opponent's down cards to one of your opponent's characters. Then at the end of the turn, up to one of your opponent's rested characters with 3 or more given down cards will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. I love this card, but I hate the fact that it can't stand on its own. I think I said that in my last video. It only gives 2 down and it requires 3 for the end of turn ability to activate. That means if the opponent is strategic and removes your Morgan, removes your Arlong, removes your Alvida, and you don't have a Django on the field, this card is virtually useless. I don't like the fact that it can't stand on its own, as in when I play it, I need other combo pieces. That's the reason I don't play Shanks and Zeph. They take too long, they're too slow. So this card can be good because your strategy is to have the Morgans and the Alvidas and the Arlongs on the board. But you can, and this can end up feeling like a brick at the end of the day if you don't have one of those on the board. Then we get into our tech. This is a one cost event. I know you're strong, so I'll go all out from the start. I love this moment in anime, by the way. I think this is the moment when he's fighting Kizaru. Yeah. What is it called? In the archipelago. But let me read the card. The main ability. You may rest 2 of your down cards. Up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters with the cost of 7 or less will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. And then he has a counter ability. Up to 1 of your leader gains 3,000 power during this battle. Great card. Good for ending of the game when you can just end up stunning your entire opponent's board. Stunning some of their small characters. Using Lord of the Coast to stun the big characters. Using Kuro to stun the bigger characters. Then we get into the outcome will tell us who's strong and who's weak. It's just a 1k event searcher for East Blue. Nothing to brag about. But we do need those searches in this deck. And lastly, we have It's an Order, Do Not Defy Me. Is a 1 cost event. Main up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 8 or less, and with 2 or more down cards will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Counter. Up to 1 of your Krieg gains 4,000 power during this battle. Problem with this is that's only your leader, and this Krieg, so it kind of sucks. It is 4,000 power though, but if they printed more Krieg cards, this card would just get immense value. I mainly use it for the stun, because if I stun your character, and it's better than me having to try to hoping that you only go 4,000 above my leader for the swing next turn. So I'd rather just stun your character. So if I can use this to stun, I prefer to use it to stun than to counter. Some honorable mentions for the deck. Who do we have here? We got the buggy. I wish this buggy, if they removed the counter off this buggy and made it a 5k, I think this card would have been perfect for the deck, but they didn't. I'm not walking around with a 4k in my deck for no reason. This card, because of how your lead ability works and you need that down attach, you would think this card is a good card in the deck. It's a waste of time. I would not recommend it. Other honorable mentions. I love this Helmeppo card, but the fact that it doesn't have counter, it is just not good. There's no other honorable mention East Blue type characters. Only other card I would possibly add to the deck, now that I've played the deck for a couple of games, is probably the 9 cost Shanks that KOs. Yeah, this is probably the only other card that's not in East Blue that I would add to the deck. You still can keep 1 up after playing this out to stun a body using your event, or take a search, but no other card in the deck is really worth it. But that's it for the deck list. We got a couple games. We got a couple games against Brook I think Katakuri and Roger. Let's get into those. All right, first game's against Brook. This was a bad first hand for me, but we played it out still. I don't know why, but it always feels good to counter out early with this deck. I haven't deciphered why it feels better to counter early with this deck though. Maybe because the only way around your leader abilities to play out larger bodies in the end game, so you would rather take those hits later on, especially if you're already seeing your curve. So in this hand, I already saw my curve. I already had the all along in my hand for my forward arm play. I'm still getting used to this deck, even though this is sped up. It's a little slow because I was taking my time, making sure I make as least mistakes as possible. So I've noticed that I hate playing out the all along on 4 because you're tempted to attack in with it, and them swinging into your all along early never feels good. Yeah, like right here, you feel like you have to counter out to save your all along, because that all along comes off the. If he comes off the board, the game gets tremendously harder from that point forward. Especially if you see my hand, I don't have my Alvin, and I don't have my Captain Morgan. I don't even have a Django to make up the difference. So I couldn't let that all along go, and I couldn't get the to use the second KO ability from the Pearl. I decided to go for life instead of attacking into the Zoro, because he's just a blocker. I could arrest him at any time. Maybe I should have gone into it, but live on your lawn. He's constantly trying to get rid of that all along. Only finding one of your cards that only finding one of your cards that that shift Dawn around for the entire game feels terrible. Yeah, already down to 0 life. And he has a full board. Usually it's the opposite way. Yeah, and I just concede right there because there's nothing I could do going into the next turn to save myself. In my opinion. Only thing I could possibly done there is try to go for game. I might have had that actually. Who knows? But he was graceful enough to let us have a rematch. I'm going second again. You see how powerful this Nezumi card is. He plays out another Nami, searches for Chopper. He's out the Chopper. Again, we counter out only with this deck. It just feels better. Using the zoom to give us a Dawn, and use the all-on to give us a second Dawn, a second rested Dawn. Swing in for 7. Swings in for 5, we take. Ooh. Jin into Morgan. Great play. Then we have the Krieg for next turn. Our curve is looking amazing this game. So I did screw up the order. Should have attacked him with leader first, so I should have made my leader a 7k and made the all-along a 6, attacking to 6 with all-along and 7 with leader. But we weren't punished, so. So we took that just in case. We played a rusher of some sort. So we play up the all-on. We're gonna give all 3 to the Nightmare Luffy. We're gonna rest him with our leader ability. Activate main from all-on, give him 2 more. Give him everything. And then reduce him by 5. Then the Zumi puts in some work. He shouldn't have given me that Dawn. I mean that counter, in my opinion. Should have kept it. He knows I'm swinging in. If he counters this, I would pivot into board after. But I guess I go straight into life. I think that's a mistake on my part. So you see the big difference between this game and last time. We hit our curve and the board is the complete and total opposite. My board's flooded and he has almost nothing on his board. It's taking a minute. I keep the all-on over the Morgan just in case I need to move active Dawn later on in the game. Because right now he more or less might go into defense mode, so still have to give up the all-on in hand for counter, but that's fine. Definitely should pivot into board here. He gets it, but he has to get punished for it. And he freezes 2 of my bodies. Good. Decide to take the search. We get. So 2 of his bodies are already frozen. So I decided the best thing to do is to freeze the rest of his board. And that's why I got the Lord of the Coast. So with those 2 cards, froze the rest of his board. And I could go straight into lead without worrying about anything. And 9k or 10k into lead. If he survives, he has nothing next turn. We're running back against the same Brook again. Best out of 3. He got the first one, I got the second one. We have to settle it. Again, Nezumi on 2 down is amazing. I already have my Arlong in hand, so there's no need to try to get a card out of life. I already have everything I need right now. And this is the play I was actually telling you about. Right now, I think it's better to play out the Arlong that stops him from attacking rather than play out the new Arlong. Because this way, next turn, I get a 6k attack into lead. He can't attack into me, and then I can still play out the Arlong on 6. Hopefully, I draw into a Jin, and I can play both of them out. But if I can only draw into the Arlong, that's fine. So exactly as planned. So I decided to go 7-7. I'm trying to go on a defensive with Nightmare Luffy. It's not gonna work out. Minus my 4, he's down to 3. There's a lot to get out of that attack. Okay, I have no blockers, and he's down to 1 card, 1 character on the board on 1 life. 6 cards in hand. Goes on another Nightmare Luffy play. Definitely should have gone for board. Yeah, there's no need to go for life there. But I guess he would assume that I didn't have another Krieg in hand, but I'm trying to decide what to attack him with. Gave me a 2k for that. Can't get out. That's a GG. Alright, next game we into Katakuri. Mulligan the first time. I don't get to play to Katakuri too often. I think it's a middle of the way deck. Nothing to write home about. Just you start comboing the big moms on the 8-cost Katakuris, it gets dangerous, but not necessary to write home about. Like a Team Shanks deck. Use the same all-on play again, all-on on 4. I have nothing else on 4. Hopefully I join to Jin for next turn. So this was a play mistake in my opinion. I have no idea why he would play out the snake. I don't think Krieg has ever played a card that KOs, so no idea why he would need KO protection or remove a protection, I should say. So he played out the Dawn Krieg raw. He attached all his Dawn to his leader, so we won't get to manipulate it as much. Gave up his entire hand for that. I disagree. Should have taken the life. But I guess he was on curve, so he hit at 9. And he assumes that Katakuri was going to do something. No idea why he didn't just free block there. That was a waste of a counter. So I could have free blocked for the obvious play here is the Morgan. Because he only has 4 cards in hand. Getting the Morgan, getting the Katakuri off the field with the Morgan rather than freezing it with the core is better here. Because I'm almost guaranteed to get rid of it. Six into lead. Got rid of the Katakuri. 6 into lead now. He's a one-trick pony. Plays out another Katakuri. Definitely feel Big Mom would have been a better option if you could find it. This 3 to 4 life is pretty healthy, especially a 5 life leader. So right now we're prepping to freeze the Katakuri with the Kuro. So I said Big One will probably be better in this situation. At least he gets to gain the life, and then when I attack him, he gets to gain a card. The Katakuri, I just remove it out my way every turn. In my opinion, I should have swung in with the. Do I swing in with it? No, I end my turn. I probably should have swung in with the Morgan, because he has nothing on the board that can swing into the 6K. And yeah, the Katakuri is already frozen. no use for the Jin, so give it up. Give it up for counter. Staying at 3 life. This is sped up so you can tell he's taking a minute to play. This deck doesn't typically play any rushers other than that one big mom, and I don't think he would play that card in this scenario, so I free block with the Kuro. He has 3 blockers, 3 cards in hand, 1 life. So technically he only has 2 blockers on the board because I can automatically get rid of 1. And this is because I'm talking about using that R-Long to remove those active downs. Turn into life. Hook. This is me testing to see how I could freeze this entire board. Can definitely, if he free blocks the character, I could definitely stun 2. But I would have to give up a card on field, on board. Swinging with my blockers. That's a game. Yeah, he did have the 10 cost on Rush Big Mom in hand, but I felt he would have been a bad play at that point in time. What? Wait, let me see. What hand did I mulligan just now? Yeah, no 2 or 4 down playing that first hand, so yeah, mulligan for sure. Get the Nezumi for my next turn. Get the R-Long a turn late, but that's fine. Yeah, the curve didn't go as well this game. Already down to 2 life. Option is definitely should only be Jin. That's my fault. That should have definitely been Jin into Captain Morgan instead of R-Long. Yeah, definitely Jin into Captain Morgan. That way I have a blocker on board. And that bullet doesn't get the free attack. Yeah, that bullet doesn't get that attack. I have no top end. Use the event to freeze both the characters on his board. So this game, I can see I'm valuing the I know I said it's the best card deck, but I'm definitely valuing the R-Long too much. Yeah, that's my play mistake in this game right here. Plays out the 8 cost Roger. Boosting by 2k. That's just for defensive purposes. Pull into another 2k. And I have absolutely nothing on board. This is a play mistake. I think I should have been stacking to go at board instead of playing out that all along. Yeah, should have been going into board here. 9 into 7 is better than 9 into 9. I think I played that game wrong, but I also didn't see my top end. So here we go into another Roger. All these games are back to back, by the way. You see the all long on 4. He's swinging heavy. This time we see our top end, we got our Kura and we have our Krieg in hand. So event to get out of that attack is great. We have all along on the board to get to remove that active Dawn. Give ourselves a Dawn. Make sure we all our lead abilities active. Minus the Rayleigh by 6. It's a 3 down. Lets it go. Takes out a Shanks, Jesus. Goes into a. I think he was wrong to go into the Krieg. I don't think that was the play. I think that's where he screwed up his game. Because he still has 3 life, he's a 7-kill leader. He definitely was supposed to push the game. I had no blockers on board. If he went into life, he would have had a better shot of winning the game. Again, my goal with this deck is to go for his hand size. He has 5 cards in hand. He would have to give me 2 to get out of that attack. In my opinion, I should have left that 1 Dawn up for my event. Gets that. Yeah, if he attacked with Shanks to life last turn instead of attacking into the Krieg, I think he would have won this game. That was a mistake on his part. But we take dubs all the time. He probably thought he was safe because he was up in life. Eight into 7, he takes. 8 into 7 once more. He counters with a 2k. Now we decide what we're gonna do for the turn. We're using the Kuro. Seven to 7. He takes the last 7 to 7. We freeze the shanks and we'll leave one up for the event. Just in case. He tried to map it out there, but he couldn't get there. We had too much counter in hand. That one play mistake when he attacked into my down Krieg with the shanks, that literally cost him that game. But apart from that, we played that game perfectly. We hit our curve. We got out what we need to get out. We picked the best options in the situations. We stick to a game plan. We go for the play line that gets the most cards out of hand. If they give us those cards, that's fine. If they give us the bodies on board, that's fine. Then we just continue to flood the board. Solid game plan. Bring up the deck list one more time. So the only thing they can do to increase the potency of this deck is print better East Blue cards. There are non-East Blue options, but the drawbacks to the deck are too great to make them worth it. None of them are worth more than negative 2k to everybody on the field, but you are limited to just East Blue. The deck can hold its own. You have to see your curve. Either Django or Nezumi on your side. I think this deck best goes second. I see some individuals running this deck going first. I disagree. This deck is best go second. Get your Django and your Nezumi on your first turn, your 2-down turn. Then you go into your all-longs on your 4. Either one is fine on 4. I prefer this all-long. Then go into this all-long or this Morgan. Preferably with this Jin. And then after that, it's just about choosing which is best between your Kriegs and your Kuros. Depending on the matchup, you might have to start stunning the board with your Lord of the Coast and your on this event and this event. But if you enjoyed the gameplay, leave a like and subscribe for more rogue builds and gameplay. We love to experiment with decks over here, so leave a comment with a deck that you would like to see me experiment on, a deck that you think has potential but you probably couldn't have figured it out. Let me get a try, and we can figure it out. And we can figure it out together. Sorry, a little tight tongue there. All right, man. Justice out. Peace.